my fellow comic book collectors. It's Alan, the Comic Collector Geek, and these are my top 10 Silver Age comics. And I want to show my top 10 Silver Age because it's fun. This is like my Friday challenge. Last week we did top Bronze Age. Before that I did top Copper Age. Well, now it's top Silver Age, and I'm hoping that people will participate in this, video, challenge, where people can look through their long boxes and find their top Silver Age books. I know it's a little harder with the Silver Age because, not many people have much Silver Age comics, but hey, why not participate in this and just, spread the love in the community. So if you have a great Silver Age collection, this might be the video for you to participate in. I'd like to give a quick shout out to a few channels that I hope participate. One would be Automatic Comics. He's a good friend of the channel. And another would be Black Box Silver and Bronze. I'm trying to give different shout outs than what I gave the previous week. And then Martin, which is the Australian comic collector. Give him a shout out too. And who else? I'm just trying to think of channels. And then maybe Disney Comics. So I'll put their links to their channels in the description. So so check them out. Hopefully they'll participate in this tag/challenge video. And if you weren't tagged, don't worry about it. Just participate, tag some other channels. Like the idea of this is to kind of spread the love in the community. So let's get into the books. You're probably wondering, what are my big Silver Age books? Some of them actually, there could have been switched out because I have actually books that are more valuable from the Silver Age in terms of raw value because of grade and so forth. But these ones were kind of on most of the top 10 lists for what are the biggest Silver Age keys and with the biggest sales. So, you'll see what I mean by that. So the first one, number 9, actually, I was going to show you some. Don't ignore that. Just ignore that. Just ignore that because that was the wrong one. I realized I have it upside down. Number 10 on my list is Daredevil #1. Actually, when I got this, I consider myself a true collector because this is such a big book. It was actually a good time to pick it up. I picked it up for well under $1,000. I think it was like $700. I picked it up raw and then got it slabbed. But yeah, just a really nice book to get. Early Marvel and Silver Age. And it's just one that I've always wanted because, I thought Daredevil was a cool character, The fact that he's blind and yet he's kind of like, in my way, and my thinking is he's kind of like a bat. But, he's a man without fear. And I think that's kind of cool that he basically uses his kind of bat-like, it's almost bat-like. See, it's like he kind of senses where things are and senses by sound and stuff. I think it's kind of a cool character, blind and yet a superhero. So Daredevil #1, first appearance of the Daredevil. So, and then we got Amazing Spider-Man #1. And this is just a really great book. A lot of people don't like the cover. I actually love this cover. I always felt like this was a very iconic cover. You got Spider-Man kind of like, he almost reminds me of like an insect where they put the pin in it. And like, I always feel like that. So with this book. So this is Amazing Spider-Man #1. It is also the first appearance of J. Jonah Jameson. So kind of a key character for Spider-Man, kind of Spider-Man's foil. So yeah, just a really cool book. And it's also a crossover between Spider-Man and the Fantastic Four. So yeah, Amazing Spider-Man #1. Number 8 on my list is Hulk #1. Another big book. I was actually surprised. I got this for such a great deal. I was super excited about it. The comic shop that sold it to me, I think they messed up when they priced this out, because they basically sold it to me for the price, fair market value, but instead of being US dollars, they put it in Canadian dollars, which was really huge discount, like about 30% discount. And it was actually at a point where this book really wasn't that expensive. It was kind of going up after that point. But this is Hulk #1 from 1962, first appearance of the Hulk. He was gray, but what happened was with the Hulk, they couldn't get the gray to be consistent. So they wanted him to be gray, but it just didn't work out where they could consistently color all the panels the same shade of gray. So they decided to make him green. So yeah, just kind of a cool book. First appearance of the Hulk. And number 7 on my list is Showcase #4. Now this is what I was saying. This is not a 60s book. This is from 1958, I believe, or 56. Oh my goodness, sorry, 56. It's considered to be the first Silver Age comic for DC. It's a big book. Really hard to get this book. Actually, I was looking at a whole bunch of copies for it, and they're always so beat up for what I could afford, right? This one presents really, really nicely. It's a 2.0, but it presents really, really nicely. It has off-white to white pages, too. So this is the first appearance of the Silver Age Flash and Barry Allen, and just a really cool cool book. I always thought I was related to the Flash because you know, his name's Barry Allen and my name's Allen. I know that's the last name, but as a kid I didn't care. His name is Allen in my mind. I related to him. I'd run really, really fast, and as a kid I thought I was running really fast. I related to the Flash a lot. I thought he was a really cool character. I always thought that, you know, this is kind of the Flash that I recognize as the Flash, even more so than the Golden Age Flash. Even though I'm a Golden Age collector, I always thought Silver Age Flash was my Flash. So yeah, so this is Showcase #4, the first appearance of the Silver Age Flash, and the start of the Silver Age. So this is a good book to have in the top 10 list if you're going to show top 10 Silver Age books. So Showcase #4. Number 6 on my list is A Journey into Mystery #83. Another book that I was really excited to get in my collection. This is, it's a restored copy. That's how I could afford it. Amazing how affordable books become when they're restored. This one, what is it? Restoration includes small amount of color touch on the cover, spine split, sealed to cover, and all 3 edges trimmed. So yeah, so there was a lot of work done on this book, but it is a great one. Actually, it says it's slight C1 restoration, so maybe just very slight trimming. I don't know how they judge that, but just I think it presents well. It's a cool book. First appearance of Thor, and it's just like, this is what you want. This is like the most ideal first appearance you can have. He's showcasing himself. He's front and center on the cover. He's showcasing his talents. Like, what he does is swinging his hammer around, and just, you see him fighting bad guys. It's just a really great cover. I love this cover. So this is Journey into Mystery #83 from 1962. So that's number 6 on my list. Number 5 on my list is Tales of Suspense #39. First appearance of Iron Man. Now this is actually an interesting book. This one is restored as well. It's a high grade, but I actually drove 3 hours to the middle of nowhere to pick this book up, because the guy basically agreed to sell it to me in Canadian dollars, cash. So I drove middle of nowhere, handful of cash, like, it's like so crazy. I like had all this cash on me, and I was like, am I going to get kidnapped? I'm going to get mugged? I had no idea what was going to happen to me. And he sold me this book, but I was talking to the guy, and this is restored, but the restoration is stupid. It's like the dumbest level of restoration. It's trimmed. Okay, so you'll even say it says trimmed right up there. What happened was it's just this little corner. It's maybe this much is trimmed. It's like the dumbest level of like restoration possible. It's just trimmed on that little corner. That's it. Like somebody just took scissors, trimmed a little bit of a corner, not all the way across, but just a little bit. I don't know why this got a restored label in a way. It's kind of dumb. Like it's really dumb. But because of that, I got it for an insanely good price, like 1/10 of the of the value. Yeah, I got a really good price on this one. So this was from 1963, first appearance of Iron Man. But there's another thing that I have to mention about this book. It is actually a very good copy of Tales of Suspense. It has, I'm not sure if you can see it, but it has the quotes, which shows that it's really a good centering. Also, it has at the very bottom it has the full panel, and those are things that actually add value to the book. Where if you have both quotes on the Iron Man and then have this panel being complete, it's considered a very good centered copy. It's just funny that it is restored because of that little piece. It's like, why even bother? Okay, so yeah, so that's my number 5. Number 4 on my list is Avengers #1, and this one you can see the spine is just shot. It's a really rough strip, but the cover itself is very, very solid. I just love this one. This is obviously the first appearance of the Avengers as a team, and it's a great cover too because you got the team all present on the cover. They're kind of showing what they're about to do, and you got Loki being the bad guy, and he's just sort of he's not shown, but he's kind of hinted at properly. He's not fully shown, I should say. I just really like this one. I was a big fan of the Avengers movies. I thought they were all really, really great. So this is Avengers #1 from 1963. And another big book. I love this one. This is another big book for me. This is Fantastic Four #1. First appearance of the Fantastic Four. So you got the Invisible Woman, you got Invisible Girl at the time, and then we have Mr. Fantastic, the Thing, and the Human Torch. Just a really great. Probably this is the book that is the most important for Marvel. This is the one that kind of set them, on the road to being the #1 comic publisher. Because they were kind of floundering. This was kind of their last shot at really going anywhere instead of bankrupt. So yeah, Fantastic Four #1, just a very important book. I got this for a great price because it is restored, but also I bought it on Heritage when they just had a big sale like a couple days earlier. Where they were selling like massive books, and then they had this auction where nobody was really paying attention to it. So I was surprised when I won. I was like, oh, I just won that. That's really cool. And I didn't put that high of bid because like well, this book can be very pricey very quickly, especially in a 5, even though it's restored. So I was quite excited to win it, and for the price that I did. Okay, number 2 on my list. This one, I also won on Heritage, and I didn't really expect to win, but it was a pretty low bid. I thought this was a good potential one, though. This is X-Men #1. It is the first appearance of the X-Men, and it's the first appearance of Jean Grey and Cyclops and Beast, and also it's the first appearance of Magneto, Iceman. Just a whole bunch of characters make their first appearance in this book. Angel. This is from 1963, another big book for Marvel. And this one's a 0.5. Now, the reason it's a 0.5 is it's ugly. You can see, like, if you look at the spine, it's pretty ugly. I actually thought that, if there was some way to clean this book up, it's not incomplete, so it should be a 1.0, and if it was a 1.0, it would be a much more valuable book. Even in a 0.5, it's actually a pretty expensive book. So yeah, just a really cool book. I was super excited to get this one. This was another one that, as a kid, you'd be like, oh, X-Men #1. That's like, the Grail book to get, because X-Men were really popular in the 90s. And this was the Grail book. But it was always one that was well out of my price range. So that's number 2. Last one, another really big book. I did layaway payments on this one on my comic shop. And I got this just before that massive sale where all of a sudden Amazing Fantasy was the #1 most expensive book. It sold for $3.65 million in I think it was like a 9.6. So yeah, I was pretty excited to get this, and the prices went crazy after that. Like the prices, like I think it tripled within a few weeks. So yeah, so this is a qualified one. There was a coupon that's missing. Doesn't affect story. Doesn't really affect much. It's just like a small coupon that's been cut. Coupon cut out of page 12 does not affect story. Incomplete though. So I got the incomplete. Now, if I had actually asked this to be relabeled, I could get a blue label probably in a 2.5. So really this is like a 2.5. But the thing I like about this book is it presents really well. It has one chipping. And a lot of these early Marvels had these kind of chipping issues. So it has a bit of chipping there. But really great presenting book. This is the first appearance of Spider-Man. Just a really, really iconic book. And it's the most expensive Silver Age book that I have. So just a really great one. Amazing Fantasy 15, first appearance of Spider-Man from 1962. So those are my top 10. I'd love to see your top 10. I enjoy watching other people's videos. I hope that you participate. All you have to do is create, show your top 10 Silver Age books, and use the hashtags 60s books, 60s covers, and hashtag Friday Comic Challenge. And if you do all that, then I'll see your video. And yeah, thanks again for watching. Bye for now.